We start with this, big bucks for Rio Rancho. The city is making a whole lot more money than expected off its red light and speed cameras. It has some city officials taking a closer look now. News 13's Catherine Mazzone is here with the latest on that. Good morning, Catherine.
Good morning, Crystal. Now, right now, Rio Rancho has 2 red light cameras, 2 speed cameras, and 4 mobile speed vans. Get this, violators are issued $100 fines when they're caught on camera. The city was expecting to make $380,000 on the program this fiscal year alone. Now, that's after paying camera company Redflex and the state its cut. However, the city's on pace to rake in nearly $500,000. That's $120,000 more than they anticipated.
It is a little bit surprising, but there's a lot of people speeding.
Now, counselors are considering a resolution that would take any extra money raised through the program and spend it on equipment for police officers. Back to you, Crystal.
All right, thanks, Catherine. We will continue to follow this story and bring you updates as they do come into our newsroom. We turn now to this. A New Mexico staffer is in trouble this morning, accused of harassing a woman on social media and bullying other employees. The allegations come from a newly filed lawsuit. In it, staff at the United South Broadway Corps, they say they were intimidated by Assistant Attorney General Kenneth Casares Owens. The suit also claims Owens invited a female employee for drinks and tried to friend her on Facebook. Attorney General Hector Valderas, the man you see there, called the lawsuit frivolous. A controversial move for an Albuquerque Walmart has a lot of you talking on our KRQE Facebook page. The store in San Mateo near Zuni is posting signs saying you'll have to leave big bags in lockers or in your car. A corporate spokesperson would only say safety and a large homeless population in that area was a factor in the decision. APD's crime mapping website, though, it shows police did respond to 30 shoplifting calls there just this month alone. Shoppers say the new rule is a form of discrimination.
Most people have backpacks, doesn't mean everybody's shoplifting. I think that's what they're getting at. You got a big bag, you must be shoplifting.
It's going to get frustrating, I believe, because a lot of people aren't going to stand there and wait for their stuff.
So this is the second drastic move made at that Walmart store. It recently cut back hours because of overnight safety concerns there. We turn now to this. 4 years after allegedly stabbing a man to death during a fight, an Albuquerque man is in police custody this morning. U.S. Marshals arrested Andres Bermudez yesterday for the murder of Danny Herrera. It happened in December of 2011 at a New Year's celebration at a Northeast apartment complex. Police say Bermudez stabbed Herrera with a steak knife after the two got into a fight there. In Santa Fe this morning, police are investigating a suspicious death. 52-year-old Melissa Sosi was found dead yesterday morning near the walking trail off St. Michael's Drive and Siringo Road. Police are still trying to determine exactly how she died, but they are investigating this as a homicide. A teen girl who killed 2 people during a drunk driving crash is sentenced to a year behind bars for the crime. Last October, then a 16-year-old Vanessa Rodriguez took her parents' truck and crashed head-on with another car near Hatch. Police say she was drunk. The crash killed the other driver, 32-year-old Elida Garcia, and Rodriguez's 17-year-old passenger, Sonia Rodriguez. The DA had asked for 2 years for Rodriguez. The judge decided on 1. Now, Rodriguez told investigators her 13-year-old cousin got the beer from Alfredo Alanis, who sold it out of a makeshift store in his home. The case against Alanis is still pending this morning. We turn now to this. New this morning, new evidence shows the Anasazi people may have been around earlier than scientists previously thought. According to laboratory-equipment.com, the latest evidence comes from the largest Anasazi settlement in New Mexico. That's Chaco Canyon, of course. Scientists have known the Anasazi use macaw birds and feathers in rituals. Modern-day Pueblo people, they still really prize these feathers. New carbon dating of macaw skulls found at Chaco Canyon, they show the Anasazi may have actually been around at least 150 years before scientists originally believed. Turning now to news out of Washington, D.C., where the president is expected to sign a key trade deal today. The Trade Promotion Authority gives the president the authority to negotiate trade deals and fast-track them through Capitol Hill. He'll also be able to negotiate a 12-nation deal that would link 40% of the world's economy. The Senate is now voting on a related bill dealing with assistance to U.S. workers who lose their jobs because of those free trade pacts. It's expected to pass and go to the House for a vote today. Also happening today, the defense for accused theater shooter James Holmes begins arguing its insanity case. Holmes allegedly opened fire on a packed theater in 2012, killing 12 people, wounding 70 others. Legal analysts say Holmes' lawyers will likely use a notebook filled with pages of rambling and shooting plans to show that he was unstable. The notebook reportedly also has documents a battle with mental illness, which is also key to their defense. So following the story of Rachel Dolezal, who was accused of lying about being black, a Texas woman says she's in a similar situation. Verda Bird was adopted by a black couple in the 1940s. She says she never questioned her ethnicity and always assumed that she was black. But after searching for her birth parents at the age of 70, the truth came out. Bird is actually white, born Jeanette Beagle to two transients. She says she still considers herself black, though.
I wouldn't go back to my birth name if I had to. Jeanette Beagle does not fit Verda Bird. Jeanette Beagle does not have an education. Jeanette Beagle has no Social Security money because she never worked. She never even went to kindergarten.
So despite all of this, Bird says she's still disappointed with former Spokane NAACP President Rachel Dolezal because she lied about being black. Bird says in her case, she just didn't know she was actually white. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us here on KRQE News 13 this morning. I'm Krista Gutierrez. We start this Thursday with the latest on the wicked wildfires. If you've been outside in the last few days, you've definitely noticed it. Haze sitting over the metro. At this point, there is not enough smoke to warrant a health alert, but if you are sensitive, you may want to reduce your time outdoors. This is all due to several fires burning here in New Mexico and wildfires raging in Arizona. That's a look at some of them there. The latest on the Moore fire in the Gila. It's now burning at around 4,000 acres, but breaking overnight. A wildfire in California is raging out of control, threatening close to 1,000 lives there. News 13's Catherine Mazzone has been following the latest. She's here with more.
Well, that's right, Crystal. People in California are keeping a close eye on several fast-moving wildfires, including one that forced nearly 1,000 to evacuate their homes and shut down several lanes of a busy interstate. Let's take a look. The fast-moving Cow Grove fire forced homeowners to flee. Now, more than 400 firefighters from around the region are fighting the blaze. It's chewed through more than 300 acres. Still, some refused to leave.
Kind of get used to it, just like you get used to earthquakes.
Yeah, there's been fires a lot, so
we kind of become so immune to it now.
California is in the middle of a historic drought. That means dry conditions are just fueling these fires. Another blaze, the Loma fire, is close to 80% contained. While no one's been injured, homeowners say it's still dangerously close.
our hill right here, just on the other side of that hill, starts Loma. So, and that's pretty much where the fire break is right in the back of us. So the houses are very close.
Wow. Now, those evacuations have been lifted, but here in New Mexico, several dozen firefighters are now working to control the commissary fire in the Pecos, Las Vegas Ranger District. It's sitting at around 500 acres. It's a fraction of the Red Canyon fire that's more than 11,000 acres. It's burning in the San Mateo Mountains. Back to you, Crystal.
All right, thanks, Catherine. Now, in New Mexico, officials will be keeping a very close eye on these fires, not only due to the potential for flooding in these burn scar areas, but also to ensure they catch any new lightning-sparked blazes. With more storms heading right into state, that could be a big concern. Let's get right to Kristen Curry on this.
That's right, Crystal. And really, like Catherine was saying in her story, being California born and bred, you do get used to it, unfortunately. And even here in New Mexico, wildfires are not foreign to us. And heading into this weekend with those storm chances, there's a few things we have to watch out for. Flooding in and around the burn scars. This is my biggest concern with those showers and storms developing in and around those burn scars and just over the state in general. Lightning sparking additional fires is going to be something we'll have to watch closely, as well as those erratic winds that get put out by those thunderstorms. Is it going to make it any easier to not only fight the fires we're currently looking at across the state and in the Gila Mountains, but even that continue to spark up? So that's something we'll watch. The drought monitor shows that we are still looking at the drought conditions off to the west, and it's not a pretty situation in California either. You could see some of the extreme to exceptional drought categories out there. So of course, we'll continue to bring you updates on the wildfire conditions, not only out across the desert Southwest, but including here in New Mexico, and I'll have that full 7-day forecast coming up here in about 10 minutes.
All right, thanks, Kristen. We turn now to a new development debate underway in Santa Fe. Tierra Concepts wants the new development between Agua Fria and the river. They're asking the city to rezone the land to prepare for a 399-unit complex with 60 low-income units.
We don't want piecemeal development. We want a plan. And a plan is the most important thing to develop with the community, with the city council.
The developers initially suggested a 450-unit complex, but scaled it back to an attempt to appease the public there. We reached out to city council last night, but have not heard back just yet. We turn now to this. A Santa Elena development has gotten the green light from Bernalillo County commissioners. They signed off on the agreement between the developer and the county yesterday. Last week, commissioners passed the zoning and master plan. Developers say 100,000 people could live and work in that community on the west side. It's been a fight, though, to get the plan passed. Read more about it on our KRQE News app. A robbery suspect who allegedly broke into an MMA fighter's house has cut a deal with prosecutors. 20-year-old Raymond Garces pleaded no contest for trespassing. In 2014, he and 3 other men entered the Las Cruces home of fighter Joseph Torres. Torres fought back, beating the men and stabbing one of them to death. As part of the deal, prosecutors want Garces to testify against the others. Torres was not charged. He's the homeowner in this. Happening today, 2 of the 9 victims in last week's church shooting will be buried in Charleston. Services for Ethel Lance and Reverend Sharonda Coleman Singleton will take place at separate churches in the city. Lance was 70 years old and worked at the church for decades. Coleman Singleton, a mother of 3 and a minister. 2 more viewings for Reverend Clementa Pinckney will also take place, including one at the Emmanuel AME Church. Senator Harry Reid is calling on UNLV to consider ditching its Confederate-themed mascot. The school's Confederate ties used to be stronger than current mascot. The Hey Rebel with his big white mustache. The first official Rebel mascot was a cartoon wolf wearing a Confederate uniform and a cap. Students voted to banish that in the 70s, but they kept the Rebels' name. Some now feel it's time for the Rebels to go as well.
Well, with all the controversy, I think it's due. I think it's necessary because there's a history behind the rebel, with the Confederate flag.
So others want Hey Reb to stay. They say the Confederate link was severed back in the 70s when the old mascot was given the boot there. Just into our newsroom this morning, an F-16 plane has crashed in southern Arizona. It happened last night near Gilbert, Arizona, causing a large fire there. Witnesses say there was a series of 3 explosions, and they were so bright it actually seemed like it was daytime there. The fire is large enough that residents close by had to be evacuated. The FAA is confirming this morning the plane is from the 162nd Wing of the Air National Guard. No word on the pilot, but the F-16 did have just 1 person on board. We turn out to this. Boston Marathon bomber Dzhokhar Tsarnaev is officially on death row this morning. On Wednesday, a federal judge formally sentenced the 21-year-old to death for the 2013 terror attacks. Before he was sentenced, Tsarnaev apologized for the first time to the victims and their loved ones, saying that he's praying for their healing. New video this morning. Surveillance video catches a terrified mother race to save her children from a car just as a man tries to steal it. Police say it happened on Father's Day outside of a gas station in California. The woman says she was only in the store for a split second when she noticed the man hop into her car, then take off. Her 2 kids, they were still inside. The oldest, just 10 years old, makes a quick decision to jump out of that car, taking her baby sister with her. You can see them right there fall out of the back door. Police are still looking for the suspected carjacker this morning. Very terrifying moments for any parent.